Yo, what's up, guys? Back into playing some GT Sport today. That's me in the pink BMW. Qualified third. Felt pretty good about that, actually. Everybody, you can see everybody's times is pretty comparable, so it's a pretty evenly matched race. I have not raced this track very much. This is my first time racing it in GT Sport. I guess the last time I would have raced here would have been Project Cars, I guess. That's the last real racing game I got into. I don't even remember if this track was in that game, but I'm assuming it probably was. Anyways, I could tell when we were qualifying for this race that it was probably going to be a pretty high contact race. This is my first time in Group 3. So, yeah, definitely not the cleanest race. You're going to see a bunch of bumping, shoving right here. I get shoved off the track by this Viper. I think he might have been in the right line and I kind of went outside, but either way, he flashes his lights at me there. I don't know. But I don't know if I did something wrong. I was just trying to get back on the track. I still don't know all of the actual rules. I did get penalized right there, so maybe it was my fault, but either way, we're up into second position. Pretty much going to be a battle. Me and the Canadian pretty much battle it out for the entire race. And there goes the Viper. He goes way wide in that last turn there. So there was really no breathing room in this race. There was nobody really got ahead and was able to kind of like drive clear and free. A lot of battling between like the top 4 was able to give a lot of the people that were behind a chance to catch up. So it was a pretty high contact race and pretty evenly matched, like I said. So we're going to be coming in here and I try to take the inside, but I don't quite get a run on this guy. I'm having a pretty hard time controlling this car. Going from Group 4 to Group 3 was quite a big change. These cars are quite a bit faster, and you're going to see me, especially in second gear, it seems like with the BMW, it slides out a lot. So I really felt like this entire race I was just struggling to keep control of the car. I am a scrub, and I'm playing with a controller and automatic transmission. I've since changed that, and I'm playing with a wheel, manual transmission, and no driving assists, other than ABS on weak. And I'm not very good so far. I'm like 2 seconds off of what my controller times were. I think that's just because I'm trying to get used to the wheel. I'm starting to slowly get up to the times that I could set with the controller. So hopefully once I get used to it, it is definitely a lot more fun playing with the wheel. I will say that. Even if I only can break even with what my controller times were, it's definitely a win for me because it's way more immersive. And if I got a good wheel, like maybe a wheel with force feedback, might actually improve my times. But anyway, so yeah, pretty much coming in here to the second lap. There's really not a whole lot going on. It's just me and the Canadian kind of pulling ahead a little bit. About 1.7 seconds to third, so I'm a little closer to first than third is to me. Me and this guy we had almost identical qualifying times, so just trying to stay as close as I can, hoping that he makes a mistake and I can capitalize on it. This is my first 10-lap race. Wasn't sure how the pit stops were going to work. I was just kind of wait to see what everybody else did, see if I should pit stop or not. We ended up taking a pit stop about halfway through the race, thinking that maybe that was a bad idea. Well, you guys will end up seeing kind of why that might have been a bad idea. So I'm not really sure what the strategy is here. Just have my fuel consumption turn to power, just pretty much going full out, trying to catch this guy. And he brakes a little bit too much right there. Really just trying to get a run on him. Really try not to get a penalty through there, as I tend to cut that turn a bit and end up getting a penalty. So he gets a better run out of those S-curves. And he's starting to break away. Almost even gap now between first, second, third. And hoping he was going to go wide there, but he didn't. He takes that pretty much perfect. The Viper keeps taking it pretty wide. Dodge Viper is actually one of the cars I haven't used yet. I typically don't like that car. Like in pretty much every racing game I've played, I pretty much hate the Viper. It just handles like a boat, but it seems to be pretty good here. People use it a lot. So I'm going to try and get a run on the inside of this guy. I don't quite make it. I am catching up, as you can see, going off the track a little bit there. I'm like, oh shit, dude, this thing really starts to spin out. But here's where the Viper starts to catch us. Right as we're kind of battling it out here. The Viper's going to try and take a move here on the inside. And I'm just really hoping he doesn't bump me because he will spin me out. But he keeps, you can see he keeps screwing himself. Like he gets really close to me through this whole race. He gets like really close. I don't know if it's the slipstream or the aerodynamics between my car and his, but every time he gets really close and it looks like he's about to bump me, he ends up spinning out. Like he loses control. So I'm not sure what the aerodynamics is with that car. I might have to try it. It seems to be pretty fast at least, but they just handle like crap, at least in other racing games. So still sitting in second place. Coming into the S-curve. You can see there, see the Viper's nest, he's right behind me. So I feel like it probably has pretty good straight line speed. Oh, I almost lost it there. You can see I almost lost it. I have traction control down to 2 on this car. I honestly can't run it in 1. I lose it so many times. Alright, look at this. Canadian goes wide. I think I could get a run on him. I pretty much got this corner up here mastered. I almost lose it almost every time. There's like a bump here, but I can get this corner. I can go pretty fast through this corner. And I've kind of caught up to him. I'm going to dive in, try and get an overtake, but he takes that corner better than I do. But I always try and dive into that corner. Right on his ass right now. He's got to be feeling the pressure. He's not really been able to get a good lead in this race, so he's probably been feeling the pressure through pretty much the whole race. I feel like I am kind of reeling him in at this point. Race is almost half over. Yeah, I always slide a little bit on that corner. It's the second gear in this car. It's still better than the Porsche. I tried the Porsche 911 because that seemed to be what people were setting some of the fastest lap times with. And I can't get used to the gearing on that car. I swear, corners I can take in 3rd with the BMW, I have to take it 1st with the Porsche. So it seems fast, but I haven't really got used to it. I'm right on his ass here. I'm gonna try and I felt bad about bumping him there. I kind of went off the track. I was gonna go for the overtake, but he ends up cutting back to the inside, so I slow down. Still got a pretty good run on him though, so catching up. Reeling him in a little bit. Trying to stay close to him on the corners, hoping that the pressure will get to him and he'll brake late. But he's driving pretty well so far. Probably better than I am. But we're just going to buy our time and just wait and see what happens. Here's this corner. I can usually take that corner pretty well. I made up a little bit of time there. Takes that one a little bit wide. I slow down because it looked like he was kind of swerving around. Didn't want to end up hitting him. And here comes the Viper. Okay, so here's where I get a run on the inside because he takes that pretty wide. So we're up into 1st place at this point. And there I go, losing it. There's going to be no getting in 1st and running away with it though. Not in this race. See the Viper, he is coming up pretty quick. He's gonna try and go for the overtake here on the inside. At least that's what I thought he was doing. And then he goes for the pit stop. So I was like, oh shit. At this point now, I wasn't really paying much attention. I'm like, oh god, okay, well we probably need to take a pit stop then. I've not pitted in a race yet, so wasn't really sure when you're supposed to do that. I just take these S-curves horribly. And the Canadian has got the run on me here. Sliding out a little bit of tire wear. And yeah, just like that, we're back down into 2nd place. Putting some pressure on this guy. I'm braking early to make sure that I don't ram into him. Hoping that he brakes late. And yeah, I ended up braking late too. We've got a back barker up here. So we've almost lapped the last guy here, 19th place. I mean, it's still a pretty close race. Lap 6. I'm thinking, you know, at this point I'm worrying about the pit stop. I think we end up taking a pit stop this next lap. I might have been able to actually win this race if I hadn't taken a pit stop, but who knows. So I would have had to probably consume a little bit of fuel. I would have had to turn my fuel map down. Probably to around 3. But, yep, so here is lap 6 where we're going to go for the pit stop. I got tires and enough fuel to make it through the end of the race. And I think I did a pretty good pit stop time, actually. I'm pretty sure I pit out ahead of the Canadian. You can see I actually don't need fuel at all. Would have had enough fuel to complete the race. So this is where the first real big mistake happens, because I could have made it through the race. At this point, when I was looking at the fuel, I was like, shit, I had enough fuel to make it through the race. I did not need to take this pit stop. I could have finished on melted tires and been okay, I think. So, rip, because the guys in first and second right now, they are not going to pit. So now we have a lot of time to try and make up for. I'm a little bit confused because there is another race I raced after this that was 10 laps as well, but you had to take a pit stop. So I think I really pretty much have to really look at the, it tells you what the fuel wear and the fuel consumption and the tire wear is at the beginning of the race. So I actually need to pay attention to that, because, you know, this race might have been lower fuel consumption, even though it would be the same laps as the other race where you had to pit. You could just have like ×8 instead of ×4. So I need to pay more attention to that. So the problem now is being back down here into 5th, we have a few positions that we need to make up for. Some of the slower drivers kind of get stuck back in lap traffic here. So having to battle it out with 3rd and 4th really slows down the times of not being able to catch up to the leaders. But well, we've got fresh tires at least. So really hoping at this point for a podium finish, because a podium finish will at least increase your driver rank by a decent amount. I know that it increases if you can at least increase a position in the race. To say even if you start like in last but you finish in 17th, as long as you've increased some positions in the race, then your driver rank will increase too. But finishing on podium, obviously winning the race will give you the most points, but finishing in podium will give you quite a bit of XP. It also kind of depends, I guess, on what the rank of the other drivers are. So I felt pretty bad about what happens around this corner right here. So this guy goes way off the track. I go off the track too. I'm coming back onto the track here. He comes out from the right and smacks me over to this way, and I pretty much end up cutting the Viper right off. As you can see, the Viper just totally losing control and spinning out. I feel pretty bad about that, because it was kind of like the same situation we had in the last race with Jim. From the Viper's perspective, it probably just looked like I slammed him into the wall, but it was that, I think that's a Citroen, is that how you pronounce it? That Citroen that came off the side just totally rams me into that guy. So rip, that guy in the Viper. He's having a tough race, dude. He cannot keep it on the track. He's having some bad luck. I mean, at least we ended up getting around that guy. So we're up into 4th place now. Really trying to hunt down the guy in 3rd here and go for a podium finish. So we'll see if we can't do that. I mean, 16 seconds, lap 8 is 16 seconds from first. Pretty much have given up on getting a win in this race at this point. There's still a possibility, like if they wreck or something. Now, they haven't pitted, so they are going to be on melted tires at this point. So I'm probably going to be catching up to them a little bit, but really just wanted to get a podium finish at this point. So just trying to reel in 3rd here. We've got the Canadian right behind me, the guy that we've pretty much been battling for the entire race. He's probably thinking the same thing. He wants to get a podium finish too. He does end up catching up to us. See, I'm getting a run here on 3rd. This guy braked way too much. He does not need to brake that much. Like, that was not my bad. He way over braked there. But I did get the penalty for that. So we have a little bit of bumper cars Definitely a lot of contact here at the end. Penalties were being handed out here the last couple laps, like candy at a parade. So quite a big battle here. And I ended up getting a huge penalty. I'm pretty sure it was either on this lap or the last lap. But, I mean, a lot of contact. I'm still not exactly sure why I got the penalty. Alright, yeah, here we go. See, I get the 10-second penalty. I'm not exactly sure why. I wonder if you just occur, like, too many negative sportsmanship points, like if you get so many in a race, then you're automatically penalized. So I don't know. I don't really know how the system works, but here you can see me trying to work off the penalty here. I forget this is the best spot to do it. So coming through these S curves, we're down to 3 seconds on the penalty. Pretty nervous because I want to get podium, but I got to slow down for this penalty because I can't go across the line with it. So finally we get around this guy. Kind of the guy who was holding me in the Canadian up. So 2 seconds left on the penalty. You can see I'm whittling it down a little bit. The longer you go, the longer it takes though. Like waiting to take the time down is going to make it even longer. So it's not like a set time. But I know that this Canadian, he's going to try and come up and he wants to get podium too. So 0.57 seconds left. There we go. Okay, the penalty is gone. I don't have to drive slow anymore. So now we just got to hold this guy off, and we will have a top 3 finish. And he is right on our tails. We have closed the gap a little bit to first. It's only 15 seconds, but... Alright, it's the final turn. And I did look through, like when I was editing the video and looking through the race, I did confirm that first and second were the 2 people in this race that didn't pit. So this would have been, I think this would have been a first place win for me if I hadn't pitted, but live and learn, live and learn. So we'll definitely remember that for the next time. I'll try and keep an eye on the actual consumption of the fuel and the tire wear. The Viper, look at that, dude. 27-second penalty. That guy had some pretty bad luck in this race for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much how this race wrapped up. I am doing some practice in single player with the wheel and the manual transmission because I'm not very good at it right now, and I don't want to go online and you know, cause a bunch of havoc before I kind of get used to it. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. I did rank up, so I think we're rank C now. So that's good. I think I ranked up. I did another race right after this one. I think I came in 4th and got to driver rank C. So we're on our way there. The Canadian actually did apologize for the 10-second penalty that I got at the end. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. Of course, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.